This video starts a series of videos that go through your lease and explain all of the provisions. While we certainly hope that you read your lease before signing it, we frequently find that many tenants did not. And it's also just a good idea to remind you of the provisions now that you've settled into your rental home. We'll go through the lease in order in this video series so you can follow along with a copy of your lease if you'd like. This first video will cover the first page of your lease, and later videos will cover the rest. For those of you in Florida, the first page of your lease is actually a cover page that explains that we are not attorneys, and we used a lease that was written by attorneys and just had the blanks filled in by our non-attorney staff. The next page is the actual beginning of your lease itself, which is what we'll go over now. Looking at the first page of the actual lease, you'll see that it starts off by naming the landlord, which is the actual owner of the property, and you, the tenant. The address and the legal description of the property are also listed. Next, you'll find the term of the lease, which just means the dates that it covers. Pay special attention to the ending date. If you moved in mid-month, then your lease doesn't go a full year because we always terminate leases on the last day of a month. So if you moved in on January 15th, then the lease actually ends on December 31st, a couple of weeks short of a full year. Keep this date in mind for when you need to give notice if you aren't renewing your lease, which we'll cover later. Next, the lease talks about possession, but you're already living in the house at this point, so this part doesn't really matter to you at this point. Next, you'll see the main part of the lease, the rent amount. You'll note that it says that the rent is always due on the first day of the month. There are no exceptions for holidays, weekends, or anything else. Also note that it says that the rent has to be actually received by us, not just sent by you in order for it to count. In other words, it's not enough to just mail us a check on the first. If you do that, the rent won't get to us by the due date, and then you'll be late. Also note that it says that all payments will be applied to the oldest charges first. This means that if you have any late fees or anything else from previous months, the payment you make will go towards that before it goes towards this month's rent. If you don't pay your balance in full, this means you'll get a late fee, so always be sure to pay your full balance. The next section deals with prorated rent on move-ins, so we won't worry about that in this video since you've already moved in. Next, the lease talks about online payments, and it reminds you that while we offer online payments as a courtesy, we are not obligated to do so, and any transaction fees that the bank charges are your responsibility. Next is the resident benefits package. This section describes benefits that you receive by being one of our tenants, including a 24/7 maintenance hotline, an online resident portal, HVAC filter delivery every 3 months, and for those of you who signed leases after April of 2019, you also get renter's insurance on our master insurance policy so that you don't have to get your own. For most of you, this will save you a decent amount of money. The lease lists what the monthly fee is for the residence package. I won't mention the amount here as it changes from time to time, so check your lease for specifics. For most of you, just the insurance savings alone from the policy will be worth the fee you pay for the benefits package. Next is a section for septic rent. For those of you renting properties with a septic system, this tells you what the monthly amount is you have to pay for service of the septic system. Remember to add this on to your rent amount. This basically pays for pumpings and other maintenance of the septic system. Next is the section dealing with the credit contingency fee. For those of you with credit scores below a certain level, you will have a fee listed here to pay on top of your rent each month. Just like banks and insurance companies charge higher rates to people with lower credit scores, we also charge a fee because tenants with lower credit are generally higher risk. In order to get this fee reduced, work on improving your credit. We're happy to remove this fee when your credit score goes above the minimum level, as that indicates that you've been working hard to keep your finances in good order. This fee that we charge allows us to rent to tenants that many other management companies would just deny without giving them a chance. We like to give people a second chance when we can, but we do have to compensate for our risk and workload in doing so, and that's what this fee is for. Next is a section that talks about keyless smart locks. Some of you will live in homes that have a smart lock on the door that doesn't require a key. If you do, you have two options for using that lock. First, you can just use the keypad code we give you when you moved in. There's no additional charge for that. The second option is that you can pay $2 per month to have access to an online application to control the keypad. This allows you to change the door code and even unlock the door just by Bluetooth without having to punch in the code. Finally, the last paragraph on the first page talks about the paper payment admin fee. This is a fee that is only charged if you pay with a paper check or money order. It basically just offsets our additional costs in having to go to the bank for these payments. We discourage everyone from making paper payments, and we offer you the free option of paying through your resident portal with automatic recurring bank drafts. Please use that so you don't have to pay an extra fee. That's it for this video. The next video will discuss the second page of your lease, so watch out for that in another week or so. As always, thank you for renting from GTL.